Hello everyone, welcome to my layer of knowledge. Today we will be talking about 4 gaming topics that have recently happened. The first topic of the day is regarding CD Projekt Red and some additional information about Cyberpunk 2077's release date and DLCs. It is no surprise that the gaming industry has begun to see the impact of the pandemic on game release dates, with several games already being delayed. The most notable example is The Last of Us Part 2 being delayed indefinitely. Fortunately for us, not all companies have done this, and they are still sticking to their schedule, for now at least. CD Projekt Red is one of these companies, and it has confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 will hit its September 17, 2020 release date. In a recent call with investors, they discussed the company's 2019 financial results. One of the major takeaways from it was when Senior Vice President of Business Development, Mikhail Novakovsky, sorry if I botched the name, said that the game is already in a complete form, and that they are using these months to polish the game and check for bugs and obtain its certification. This is not something new, since back in March, CD Projekt Studio head said the same things in a tweet. They also revealed that it has already been rated by most rating agencies worldwide, after having been recently submitted. This also confirms that the game is close to being complete. The SVP of Business Development has also stated that, though Cyberpunk 2077 will get an updated version for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 at some point, players shouldn't expect to see these next-gen versions of the game at the launch of both consoles. Those will come later. CDPR did announce that owners of Cyberpunk 2077 for Xbox One will receive the Xbox Series X upgrade for free when available through the Smart Delivery system. The same thing has not been confirmed for PS5, despite the PS5 having backwards compatibility with PS4. The SVP also added that there's no official announcement coming from PlayStation, so they can't confirm or deny anything. It's PlayStation that first needs to address these issues and then they will make a comment. It's kind of weird. Does that mean they need Sony's approval to offer backwards compatibility for their game? Or is Sony still unsure whether the game will run on PS5 using the backwards compatibility feature? It is a bit unclear, but it seems we will have to wait Sony's reply to get more clarity on this. Another interesting comment came from CD Projekt President Adam Kaczynski. Again, sorry if I botched the name. He confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 will have no less DLC than The Witcher 3 had. If we look at this comment and the DLCs in The Witcher 3, then this means that Cyberpunk will receive content equivalent to or bigger than the 2 full story expansions and 16 DLC packs. He also confirmed that just like The Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077's add-ons will be revealed ahead of the game's launch. If we look at The Witcher 3, it released with an extensive DLC calendar which saw 2 pieces of free DLC drop every week for 2 months following the game's release. And the game's 2 big expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, were announced and detailed several weeks before The Witcher 3's release. So we should expect something similar to be revealed as we get closer to the release date. Other interesting things from the conference are: the manufacturing of physical copies of Cyberpunk 2077 is still underway and that the pandemic hasn't really affected it. If things change, they might switch to a digital release only. 100 to 150 people are QA testing the game, and they are working on a digital strategy to replace their E3 2020 content and presentation. So far, all of these appear as good news, minus the next-gen release dates, and hopefully things will stay on track for that release date of September 17, 2020. The next topic is about one of our favorite companies that can't go 5 steps without putting its foot in its mouth. Nope, I do not mean Bethesda. Nope, I do not mean EA. Yep, that is the one, Activision Blizzard. In a year where many conventions have moved to a digital format or have been outright cancelled, there is still one we haven't heard anything about. That is until recently. The one I am talking about is BlizzCon 2020. In a post made on their website, Blizzard states that it isn't sure whether or not it will hold BlizzCon this year because at this point it's still too early to know whether it will be feasible. Blizzard said earlier this year it started actively working to finalize plans for this fall's BlizzCon 2020. However, with this pandemic, the studio is instead keeping an eye on whether to proceed with its plans or not. The interesting part seems to be at the end of the post where it says, "We do want to mention that prior to the recent events, we had been actively working to finalize our plans and in fact are still doing so despite the workplace changes we've now made at Blizzard. That includes considering a range of scenarios and possibilities, not just in terms of the show, but also regarding what the experience would be for you. We know BlizzCon also involves preparation on your part, so we'll do our best to provide as much clarity as we can, as quickly as we can." This part seems to suggest that maybe they are considering an online experience. This seems like the most likely scenario since it seems the safest option for everyone. That or they outright cancel it. If BlizzCon 2020 does happen as planned, no matter its form, we will most likely hear more about Diablo 4, Overwatch 2, updates to World of Warcraft, and whatever the developer has up its sleeves for its other IPs. Please Warcraft 4, but not like Warcraft 3 Remastered. Please, please. The third topic of the day is about Final Fantasy VII Remake and a possible port to PC. This is just speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. The game has released today on PS4 and so far the reviews are looking good. People are definitely enjoying it despite some complaints about texture issues and some padding with side quests. Overall, this seems like a good first step for Square Enix. All we need now is the rest of the episodes so we can get the full story. Hopefully, we won't have to wait another 5 years for the next episode. Publisher Square Enix released a video celebrating the release of Final Fantasy Remake featuring a message from the lead producer. The video cuts to gameplay and story scenes every now and then, and one of them has a very clear captured on PC disclaimer at the bottom. Now, before you jump for joy, or anger if you're a PlayStation fan, do remember that all games are developed on PC. So having that disclaimer is a way of fending off downgrade cries later on, since obviously PCs are far superior than consoles. Wait, put the torch down, I'm just joking. This obviously isn't an automatic confirmation that Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to PC. Square Enix could have just wanted not to mislead players about the quality available on console. Also, the game is timed exclusive for a year on the PlayStation 4. So far, Square Enix has been happy to bring most of its games to PC, even the original Final Fantasy VII had a PC port a year later after the console launch, and it sold around 1 million copies at that time. So, there's every chance that the same will be true for Final Fantasy VII Remake when the time comes. The final piece of news for the day is about Intel, the world's largest chip maker. The company said it is pledging $50 million in additional cash and resources to fight the global pandemic. The company will focus on accelerating access to technology for patient care, scientific research, and online learning. Included in Intel's effort is a $10 million innovation fund that will go where access to Intel expertise and resources can have an immediate impact. This is in addition to Intel's prior announcement of $10 million in donations to support local communities. Intel also saw demand pick up in the first quarter of this year. Apparently, there are many orders for laptops and PCs. Most of these are probably needed to help people work from home or for online studying during this pandemic. Demand for more expensive server chips is also higher as companies and service providers improve the systems needed to connect work PCs in people's homes. Intel is scheduled to report first quarter earnings on April 23 this year and is expected to give projections for the current period. It will be interesting to see what these numbers look like and what will be the future for Intel. Well, that is all for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel and share the video. If you didn't enjoy it, hit the dislike. Leave a comment down below what you think about the topics we went over today. I hope you all have a fantastic day and wish you all the best. Goodbye everyone.